Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special JV Sports Show, Coaches Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings here on Litchfield and Bell in Surprise, joined by a special guest host tonight, Mr. Juan Roque. You may know Juan from his days roaming the gridiron for the Arizona State University Sun Devils, Sun Devil All-American. Juan also was a guest host this weekend on the JV Sports Show on our radio show Saturday morning. So we just thought we would carry it over and continue it on a couple of days later, continue the party. Juan, how are you?
I'm doing great, but just admit it, you can't get enough of it.
I can't get enough of you.
I do have to correct you on something.
Yes.
I wasn't roaming nothing. I was on the field.
Yeah, roaming the gridiron.
Coach was roaming on the sidelines.
The gridiron, not the sideline, but the grid. Yes. So
I was playing. I wasn't roaming.
You were playing in the game. An outstanding career, a legendary, a Hall of Fame. Yes, players play. Hall of Fame career at Arizona State University, and we just thought we would continue the conversation. We bring it over to Buffalo Wild Wings, share our evening with you at home. I believe we're live streaming here, so we're running live right now, right?
In my town, because I do live in
GL
Surprise.
Jones,
so.
and you live right by.
Yes, so right up the street.
Yes,
Surprise. I love it here.
We're going to continue the banner that we had this weekend, but we're also going to introduce some special guests tonight, joining us in the next segment, and we're going to talk some college sports. We're going to talk some OUAZ sports, some college sports in general, talk about the events of the last week, the last few days, and joining us tonight, as soon as we come back from the break, we're going to be joined by OUAZ men's basketball coach Matt Keeley. So Coach Keeley will be joining us, give us his take on everything going on, talk to us a little bit about recruiting, the outlook, the optimism, what's going on now, and what he expects to go on over the next few weeks and months. So Juan, if you're ready for this, man, for this little journey, we'll be right back right after the break.
Let's do it.
All right.
James here to tell you about TBA, Training Better Athletes. Founded by renowned offensive line coach Ron Sowers, their philosophy is based upon training and building well-rounded athletes and young men. They are the go-to training program for talented offensive and defensive linemen seeking to excel in middle and high school programs and preparing to excel at the next level. Coach Sowers continues to prepare student athletes for their collegiate careers at schools such as Notre Dame, Arizona State, and Oregon State, just to name a few. Contact TBA today at 602-435-9064 or visit their website at trainingbetterAthletes.com. You can't cheat the grind. At Great American Title, your peace of mind is our highest priority. A real estate transaction can be a complicated and overwhelming process. Let us simplify it for you. With our comprehensive list of escrow and title services, we can facilitate any transaction. With branches across the valley and more on the way, Great American Title is big enough to know and small enough to care. Contact Tricia Shipley at 623-760-5866 or visit their website at azgat.com. Great American Title, proud partners of the JV Sports Show.
Anna and Keith started Stessa Movement Company 2 years ago with their customers' clothing styles in mind. They designed for you. Their goal is to clothe the world. It's high-end clothing at affordable prices. Check out and follow this cool streetwear clothing company on Twitter at Stessa Movement and Instagram at Stessa Co. I wear Stessa gear in our broadcasts. It looks and feels great. Sponsoring the Stessa JV Sports Show Player of the Week Award and proud partners of the JV Sports Show. Stessa Movement Company. Stessa spelled S-T-E-S-A for style.
Welcome back to the JV Sports Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings in Surprise, Litchfield and Bell. I keep wanting to say Litchfield and Grand.
Stop saying
I
Grand.
know, stop saying Grand.
Surprise.
West
Knock
of Grand in Surprise. We're joined by OUAZ men's basketball coach Matt Keeley. Coach Keeley, how you doing, sir?
Doing great tonight, yep.
So, obviously, a lot of things been happening over the last week. Give us the state of affairs, how things came down, and what's going on with your team now that we're in the postseason, literally postseason for you.
Absolutely. We are changing every 12 hours. You know, usually most years this would be a time that we'd take a couple weeks off and get really into recruiting and into the weight room and back into some of our open gyms in the spring. And obviously that's not going to be the case this season. So we spent a lot of time today, Coach Hepker and myself, just visiting on what is the best way to attack the next couple weeks. both responsibly in regards to the guys that we have, as well as trying to be competitive and find an advantage, maybe even with all the new stuff that keeps happening in our news cycle.
So, Coach, with all the different changes and all the things happening, how is that changing the way you're approaching recruiting in regards to contacting recruits? Is now the modern technology of, I know technology sometimes is seen as a detractor for recruiting with the Twitter and all those things, but how important now is that technology for not just you, but any coach, as far as, being able to FaceTime somebody or being able to contact them through email or through social media, because now obviously contact face-to-face is going to be very limited.
It's huge, and I'm kind of that middle where I know just enough to be dangerous in social media, but not enough to know it as well as whether it be, I won't even make fun of myself by all the different ones that are possible. But just to give you an idea, I have two former players that are both director of operations at Division I universities across the country, and I spent an hour on the phone with both of them today. One, to pick their brain, what are you guys doing at the Division I level to try to stay relevant inside this, pause as we're going to have in our country? And number two, what are you guys using specifically to find ways to outreach and touch with these guys? So I talked to our marketing and media director on campus today, trying to get up to speed on iMovie and on Photoshop and on any of the other different avenues that might be even better for ways to create graphics and to create movies and to create content, essentially, to stay in front of these guys that we want to add to our program in the upcoming season.
And how important is it right now, especially not just for the winter coaches? Obviously, you're in your recruiting, you're in your getting ready to finish the semester, but how about these spring sports? What insight can you lend as a coach? Like, how do you keep these players motivated, these athletes, student athletes motivated in the classroom, in being able to stay focused and not get disgruntled, not get discouraged? Because, when disgruntled athletes never leads to anything good.
Sure.
It could potentially be an erosion of the grades, of the attitude. How would you as a coach manage that and be able to keep these kids focused, keep them energized, and keep them with the eye on the prize, knowing that they're not going to see the field anymore?
Right. Well, as it pertains to the guys we have, we start with hoping we have the right kind of guys that can self-motivate, but no program, I think, or at least can consistently have about 1,000 in that area. So we for sure have guys that we know that maybe need a little bit more prodding than others, but it's just building of relationships that we've done through our season. And now as we follow up, touch base with each one of those guys, even probably more so with those guys through phone calls. Those are guys with our teams that we talk to every day. So it's way easier to communicate with our own players by a phone call, 1 minute, 2 minute. Hey, have you looked at your grades today? Hey, what are you doing to stay on top of this? Encouraging some of our team captains to also play that role for us. So self-police. If I talk to a guy, maybe I start with our captains and say, hey, why don't after lunch today you reach out to, player A, player B, player C, and team captain too said, hey, I know you get along with the younger guys. Maybe you reach out to him too. And so now it's a village trying to survive and kind of a little bit of us against the world, which is what we create all the time in athletics, anyways.
Right, exactly. And that was my whole point: is that this whole idea of social distancing and keeping each other apart. It just is so. It's just against, it's anathema to what athletes and teammates and coaches, we're such a tight-knit group and close quarters, locker rooms, things like that this is just completely different for an athlete. Well, to all of a sudden now you got to be going in an online classroom and you're no longer going to see your coach every day or see your strength coach every day or your teammates every day.
Sure.
Now you got to keep distance, and now everyone has to kind of be in a little bubble, and it's just so different than what we're used to as athletes.
The two things that I think you would agree, whether you're playing football or basketball or baseball or any of the sports, that when you're done and the ball is done bouncing, essentially you miss the relationship.
Exactly. And
you miss the ability to compete. Those are the two things that no matter what sport it is, we all have that shared passion. And so this next generation that's in college right now has a little bit of a head start on maybe you and I in the way that they relate to each other differently than we probably did 15, 20 years. For sure. And so they're going to do that through playing their online video games together or through their different social media platforms or different ways like that. So maybe we're feeling like that's not getting taken care of, but in fact it is. But the best way that I'm worried about is finding ways to stay competitive, to stay in shape, to
Right.
stay eligible, like you mentioned, just kind of checking off all those boxes in this time of unknown.
It's almost like we just started forging the path kind of just as you go.
We are making it up as we go.
There is no predetermined, there is no route that anyone's taking. This is just such a different dynamic these days.
Don't mind me, guys. Sorry, they were just bringing some menu items. I was getting ready actually I was going to take off, but you guys were so engaged in your conversation. Hey, I'm just kidding. Coach, I had a question for you. So, and I know there's a lot that is still being discussed, and now with things having been cut short for the other sports, the spring sports, but I wanted to talk really quickly about your team, we really had a great time watching you guys play. You guys were a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunately, the season got cut short because you didn't get qualified for the postseason, but you had some bright moments this year. Talk a little bit about some of those guys, because it was a nice blend of veteran leadership, and you had some youth on the team. So what's going on with those guys and the veterans and the kind of seasons they had? Demetrius Moore obviously scored the first points in your building and was a bright spot all year. Not a very big guy, but played a lot bigger than he was. He was, how tall is he? Maybe 5'11", 6 foot? 6'2", 6'2", with platform shoes, but he played 7'2". So talk to us a little bit about those guys and going into the offseason now.
Well, as you build a program, there's all kinds of things you want to do into it, and obviously winning helps a lot. Makes us feel better the next day when we wake up, makes practices the next day a little bit better. But I think what our group this year established as we've gone through and now into year 3 is we were everyday guys that played really, really hard. Now, we didn't always execute as well as we wanted to, and we still had some team things that we were still trying to put together that maybe kept us from winning 5 more games that we wanted to. Obviously, we're going to try to add some talent. That's always my job. And then take the guys that we have and make them better. And it's a balance between those two things. We're going to lose some time here with that second part. We can't have as much gym time as we thought we were going to have. In the next 6 or 8 weeks, we were going to have them in the weight room 4 days a week, and we were going to have them on the floor whenever we had the chance for the rules allowed. And so we're going to take a step back in that.
Now, Juan asked an interesting question off camera about eligibility and adding on. Is that going to happen?
I know for sure it's going to happen for the spring sports. So the NAIA has great leadership in Jim Carr, and they were on the front of it, and today announced that they are going to allow all spring sport seniors to have an extra year of eligibility, and also address it and give them 2 more semesters of competition, which is how we stay eligible at the NAIA level. They have not made any announcement yet on the winter sports. And I don't really know. I haven't talked to anybody. My guess would be that they probably don't get eligibility back, but certainly that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, it would be tough to say for the winter sports because we talked about it. The season was pretty much over, and everything now is postseason. Like March Madness, or I'm sure the NAIA tournaments, things like that. So doubtful that they would get an extra year. I don't see that happening just because their seasons were technically quote unquote over.
Regular seasons were completed for sure.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we appreciate you coming by, talking about your team, talking about kind of what's going on. We hope to have some updates, hopefully, in the next 24 hours. We wish you all the luck in the offseason as you guys hit the road recruiting, stocking up for next year, and hopefully we put another winner on the floor.
That's the plan, and in the meantime, I'm going to stay competitive by playing board games with my 9-year-old, my 7-year-old.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, well, that's it from Coach Matt Keeley. Stick around. We'll be right back, and here on the JV Sports Show, live from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Sal's is synonymous with the best New York-style pizza, hands down, in the East Valley. My favorites are the lasagna pizza and grandma pizza and olives. With family dinner specials every day of the year and lunch specials till 3, you can't go wrong with anything that Sal and his friendly staff serves you. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, located on the southwest corner of Gilbert Road and Warner in Gilbert. Open from 10:30 till 9 Sunday through Thursday and 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Closed Monday. GilbertPizzaAZ.com. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, proud partner of the JV Sports Show. Long Realty is the go-to for all your real estate needs. Local buyer looking in the West Valley? Call our trusted partners at Long. Out-of-state friends looking for a home in the beautiful Valley of the Sun? Call Long. Selling? Call Long, and they'll make your home long gone. Call 623-584-5384 and mention the JV Sports Show to get a free market analysis. Long Realty, located in beautiful Surprise, Arizona on Grand Avenue. Anna and Keith started Stessa Movement Company 2 years ago with their customers' clothing styles in mind. They designed for you. Their goal is to clothe the world. It's high-end clothing at affordable prices. Check out and follow this cool streetwear clothing company on Twitter at Stessa Movement and Instagram at Stessa Co. I wear Stessa gear in our broadcasts. It looks and feels great. Sponsoring the Stessa JV Sports Show Player of the Week Award and proud partners of the JV Sports Show. Stessa Movement Company. Stessa spelled S-T-E-S-A for style.
Hey, all you business owners. Vince here from the JV Sports Show. Are you a fan of junior college and small college sports? Want to reach an established and growing sports radio listening audience both locally and abroad? Partner up with the JV Sports Show. We can help promote your business while you help support exclusive coverage of junior college, NAIA, NC2A Division II and III sports. Check us out at www.jvsportshow.com and let us show you the benefits of partnering up with James and I on the JV Sports Show.
Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. Angel Dentistry is where my wife and I have gone for the past 10 years and can't think of going anywhere else. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and practiced in the Valley nearly 20 years. Dr. Angel and her staff strive to provide excellent customer service from the moment you call the office to the time you leave with a smile. From general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008 and ask about the JV Sports Special, a free to-go whitened tray. With or without insurance, she will work with you. Off Cave Creek Road, north of the 101 in Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, trusted partner of the JV Sports Show.
So, welcome back to the JV Sports Show, live for Buffalo Wild Wings here at Surprise on Litchfield and Bell. Bell. Joined by Sun Devil Hall of Famer, an old friend of mine, Juan Roque. If you don't know the history, Juan played from 92 through 96, capped off by a Pac-10 championship. It was 10 teams back then, and to qualify for a bowl game, you had to win 7.
So 7 games.
It's not this 6 games where you play a Division II team and you get your 6 and 6 and you qualify
6
for
Division
bowl.
I wins.
Yes, and so 7 Division I wins. And in 96, and I was fortunate enough to have been a part of that program. In 96, ran the table, 11-0, went into that final game, ranked number 2 in the country versus. I wanted to talk to you about this, Juan. We haven't had a conversation about this since 1996.
Yeah, and there's a good reason why. Because
if we even did. So we go out to Pasadena. I was a grad assistant in that program, worked with the offensive side of the ball, worked with the O-line, and Juan was one of those guys that I had a chance to spend time with every day in practice. This guy made my job easy, and what was the mindset?
That. Thank you.
You're welcome. You can pay me later. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. We want that 50 now?
Yes. So going into that game, okay, so we fly out to Pasadena. Now,
on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day, yes. The weather was not favorable for us, I don't think.
No, we had Big Ten weather all the way. And actually,
yes.
if you look at every bowl game since then, it's almost heartbreaking that every Rose Bowl since is sunny,
70, yeah.
We got the 50 degrees rainy day. So
we go out there. We go out there. We stayed we stayed down the street in downtown Pasadena. Or no, it was
we stayed at the DoubleTree, but remember the night before the game they moved us into
to Pomona.
The travel
the
60,
Fairplex.
we took off,
remember that. We stayed away and then coming in. So the mood. Talk to us about the mood, because there were a lot of California guys on that roster. I mean,
there were.
So it was homecoming for them, in a sense. ASU hadn't been to a bowl game in 10 years.
Actually, the last bowl game was, I believe, the Freedom Bowl.
Freedom Bowl.
They won the Rose Bowl.
88, 87.
So it'd been about 10 years.
10 years.
And the attitude was that we wanted to finish off that season with that 12th win. We desperately wanted it. We felt that we'd earned it. We felt that we could win it. If you look at both rosters, they were fairly comparable. I mean, Ohio State had some pretty big time players. They had Orlando Pace, who of course it was the first pick of the NFL draft the following year. Plus they had Sean Springs, who was the third pick of the draft. See, a lot of people forget that part. They had 2 top 5 draft picks on that team, and they had up and down. You know, Mike Vrabel was their defensive end. Of course, he's now the head coach for the Tennessee Titans. A lot of football. Andy Katzenmoyer was their true freshman phenom.
Yep.
But then they had other guys like Antoine Winfield. They had Matt Pincus. So they had some guys that played a long time in the NFL on defense. And of course, you know, we had that opportunity, and unfortunately, we just ran out of time.
So
just what happened.
Now we struggled. It wasn't a very good day weather-wise. We struggled to run the ball.
We couldn't run the ball. We were having trouble on third down. We had a big play that could have potentially broke the game open. The screen pass to Steve Bush, and of course we get a personal foul.
Yes.
We went from 1st and goal to 1st and 10. We ended up kicking a field goal instead of a touchdown. There's 4 points right there. That could have been the difference. So a lot of things happened. We had our opportunities, but unfortunately, like, it just didn't happen. You know, they had that minute and 30 left, whatever it was, and a couple of breakdowns on defense, missed assignments, young players, you know, making young player mistakes, and unfortunately they score. And
I gotta ask now. That blocked field goal that Derek Rogers got picked up, that Bernie blocked. Bernie blocked it, right? Derek picks it up, or it was lateral to him from who lateraled the ball to him?
I believe it was one of the DBs, but I don't remember.
Okay, and then Derek ran that sucker in.
I understand something. I haven't seen this game yet in tape. I just haven't seen it.
All right, but they called it back. They called it back because they said that it was a forward lat. Was it a forward? Do you remember? You were on the sideline because defense was in the game.
I think in replay today it might have been allowed, but remember the running it back would have only been 2 points because it was a blocked extra point. It wasn't a blocked field goal.
Okay.
They had scored. Right. He blocked the extra point, so it's 2 points. We're still down 1 point. So.
And how many PI calls on that final drive before we got the ball back in the final few seconds of the game?
If memory serves,
was it
I believe
2, 3?
We had 2, and we had them 4th down once, and we had them 3rd down twice. So it's just, you know, it's a game of inches. It's one play at a time, and one play will make all the difference in the world. One mistake, and unfortunately,
I remember
it just happened.
So so my memory is a little bit different than yours because you played in the game. I was up in the box watching the game with these on, talking into the coaches on the sideline, and I remember a couple things. I remember the final play, kind of that smash route, you know, that corner in you know, where David Boston caught that touchdown, kind of caught Courtney Jackson off guard a little bit.
He was out of position.
I remember that, and that literally tore my heart out. But I remember
young player mistake, man.
I remember a 4th down play. No, Kojak was a great player, but I remember a 4th down play that Jake completed the Lindsey Jackson literally on the very final drive when we ran out of time. And they don't talk about that final drive, but you talk about, you know, salvaging. I mean, putting us in position to win the game.
Right.
That was one play that may not have been made. That was made. It was an incredible play made by incredible players throughout the season. Anyway,
it's a heartbreaker, and what is actually inspiring, you would think, in a loss like that, where we didn't get the national title, we didn't achieve what we set out to achieve going to Pasadena with that intent to come out of there with that national title.
Yeah.
For Coach Snyder, for all the players, for all the guys, you know, all the hard work and everything we've done. But to hear people talk about it now, here we are, you know, 3 years later.
Yep.
And they talk about it with such nostalgia that season, and they just light up. People just, you know, they're so happy and they're so emotional about it, and you know, you can see the tears welling up in their eyes, and there's like, you guys were just so special, you know, for that moment of time. We were football. We made Arizona State one of the nerve centers of football in this country. All eyes were on the Sun Devils, and I think that's something you could never take away from this community as the city grows, as it changes. The residents of the Valley of the Sun in that moment of time, that belongs to them. We belong to them. And as now a 46-year-old man, it's an honor and it's a privilege just to hear the way they talk about it and the nostalgia they have over a loss, over an 11-1 season. And they talk about it like we did win the national title.
Yep.
And man, You can't beat that.
What I remember about that game is that we were number 2 going in. Ohio State was number 4. In the other game, the Sugar Bowl that was to be played the next night, Florida State was number 1. Florida was number 3, and they had actually CBS Sports had a flight ready for Coach Snyder to fly out to New Orleans to watch that game being played in case Florida upset Florida State. We would have been the default national champions. Obviously, us losing the night before, that flight was canceled. But Florida upsets Florida State. Number 3 upsets number 1.
You want to know a karmic energy situation in that whole deal? And not a lot of people know this. I'm just gonna divulge it.
Okay.
I was approached by media relations, as Jake were. We were supposed to be on the Tonight Show on January 2nd.
Wow.
Had we won that game with Jay Leno, of course it didn't work out. So
you would be hosting
one of those weird things.
You would likely
to be on the Tonight
see,
Show.
and you talk about how things are supposed to work out. You would likely be a host of the Tonight Show now. You could have that could have launched your career. Instead, you're sitting here next to me.
That's all right. I'd rather be next to you.
Yeah, okay.
Your chin won't get in the way like Jay Leno.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen. See, there you go.
I'm here all week.
These are nuggets that you're getting that you wouldn't have otherwise have gotten. So, Juan, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Wow. So, we're going to take a break. We're going to be joined by Nicole coming back from Buffalo Wild Wings. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the specials going on here at BWW.
You got to talk about them tater tots.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, those are legit.
Yeah. So we'll be right back after the break.
James here to tell you about TBA, Training Better Athletes. Here to tell you about TBA, Training Better Athletes. Founded by renowned offensive line coach Ron Sowers, their philosophy is based upon training and building well-rounded athletes and young men. They are the go-to training program for talented offensive and defensive linemen seeking to excel in middle and high school programs and preparing to excel at the next level. Coach Sowers continues to prepare student athletes for their collegiate careers at schools such as Notre Dame, Arizona State, and Oregon State, just to name a few. Contact TBA today at 602-435-9064 or visit their website at trainingbetterAthletes.com. You can't cheat the grind. At Great American Title, your peace of mind is our highest priority. A real estate transaction can be a complicated and overwhelming process. Let us simplify it for you. With our comprehensive list of escrow and title services, we can facilitate any transaction. With branches across the valley and more on the way, Great American Title is big enough to know and small enough to care. Contact Tricia Shipley at 623-760-5866 or visit their website at azgat.com. Great American Title, proud partners of the JV Sports Show.
Sal's is synonymous with the best New York-style pizza hands down in the East Valley. My favorites are the lasagna pizza and grandma pizza topped with meatballs and olives. With family dinner specials every day of the year and lunch specials till 3, you can't go wrong with anything that Sal and his friendly staff serves you. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, located on the southwest corner of Gilbert Road and Warner in Gilbert. Open from 10:30 till 9 Sunday through Thursday and 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Closed Monday. GilbertPizzaAZ.com. Sal's Gilbert Pizza, proud partner of the JV Sports Show. Long Realty is the go-to for all your real estate needs. Local buyer looking in the West Valley? Call our trusted partners at Long. Out-of-state friends looking for a home in the beautiful Valley of the Sun? Call Long. Selling? Call Long, and they'll make your home long gone. Call 623-584-5384 and mention the JV Sports Show to get a free market analysis. Long Realty, located in beautiful Surprise, Arizona on Grand Avenue.
Buffalo Wild Wings here, the JV Sports Show. So we're joined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up for you, Nicole, and then I'm going to turn my headset over to you, and you're going to talk about all the great things going on here at Buffalo Wild Wings. This place is nonstop. I mean, we've been over here. Juan says that he's on a carb-free diet.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be eating carbs, but then these tater tots are just ridiculous.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
And he even asked for silverware, so he's going to polish that off. So
I don't know about
anyway,
all that. But.
All right, so Nicole, tell us what's going on here, all the great things happening, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Ready? Go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, nice.
Well, I was about to say, so far, some of the new things we have going on right now. We have new 14-hour smoked brisket going on, so that means we have a new sandwich going on, we have a new burger going on. Come in, check it out. We also have a new smoky adobo sauce. So it's going to be similar to a barbecue sauce, but it's going to have a really tangy and smoky flavor to it. That is
that
actually
what's on the tater tots?
It is on the tater tots, so you can definitely
it's
get.
delicious. Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
brisket's delicious as well as the sauce. It's very, very good.
Oh yeah. Cool. And then also, as you guys tried out, we do have pretzel knots, new beer cheese. We have honey mustard with it as well. So definitely come in, try those. It is an everything seasoning.
What are these again right here? What are
Those are the B-Dubs Dirty Tots.
dirty tots? Okay.
And they are dirty in the good way.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're not doing it right if you don't need napkins.
Well, exactly. I agree. The food has to be messy for it to be good.
Exactly. It's always a good time.
So what else you guys got going on?
Well, for desserts, we do have a new dessert. We have New York style cheesecake, and it will be served with caramel. So if you're having a sweet tooth right now, we have that available as well.
Oh my gosh. So we went through all of the good things going on here. What are the hours of the restaurant?
Cool. So the hours of the restaurant are still business as usual with the current
Situation.
issues going on. And let's say we are still business as usual. We open at 11. Sundays through Thursdays, we are open till midnight. Fridays and Saturdays are open until 2 a.m. Yeah, no worries.
I don't want to show.
He's stuffing his face, folks. So,
So-
he's
Hey,
being
it's
he's
good.
being bad host right now.
What
Like
is-
he's supposed to wait like 5 more minutes. You couldn't wait 5 more minutes. You just had to attack the food, right?
What if I'm in a hurry and I can't come in and sit down?
You mean like you are right now in the hurry to eat that food?
Yes, as much as I want to come in and talk to you and the rest of the staff. What if I'm like in a super hurry? What can I do? What are my options?
Oh, easy. Takeout. Our takeout is always going to be happy to help you, just as if you were dining in with us. So
Okay.
you'll still get the same awesome service as if you were to sit down and dine in with us that you would get with our takeout crew as well.
So I have one important question. What's it like working with Lindsay Godwin?
I'll say she's awesome. I love working with her.
Hey, Lindsay, I had to get you. Yeah, I know. You know that it's kind of funny. This place is a special with her and her boyfriend Brent Bernstein, who's also on the '96 Pac-10 championship team coach.
Nice.
I met Lindsay here. She was a bartender here.
Wow.
And I was here for my birthday with some friends from California. And I saw Lindsay. She's tall, nice looking girl. And, Brent was recently single. So I actually texted Brent and said, hey, you got to come over here and meet this bartender, dude. You got to get your butt over to B-Dubs on Litchfield and Bell. And they're together now 7 years.
Look at this.
I introduced them. I'm
Matchmaking.
Cupid. It
This
was me.
matchmaking
So you
at
can
its
talk to
finest.
Lindsay about that.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. No, that's a good
Love
story.
Connection. Juan, you're
I'm
all
one
about
for one.
bringing people together.
I'm one for one. I ain't going to do it ever
Great.
again.
Wonderful.
Keep it
Maybe
100.
you can find a nice guy for this young lady here. I don't know.
Oh, I am married.
Oh,
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm
It's all
sorry.
good.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay. Anyway.
You could smack him. It's okay. Or do you
Nah,
want me
it's
to do
fine.
it?
Nah, you're
I
good.
didn't know. All right, so we have something. We have a little gift for our friends here at Buffalo Wild Wings. You can display it prominently, and it is. Sorry.
Oh,
Nicole,
no worries.
Reach across.
Oh, you're
here.
fine. It's all good.
Cool.
The partner
Ta-da.
banner of the JV Sports Show in appreciation for all you do and all Assistant GM Tony does for us, as well as the staff here at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Display this prominently. We look forward to coming back. Anybody that comes in, come on in. Maybe you guys can sign it, and just welcome to the family here at Buffalo Wild Wings. So thanks so much, and let's get a picture.
Awesome.
And
One more. Smile, please. Thank you. I'm good. Perfect. Thanks.
all right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, for
Of course.
everything, and I will take those back from you.
You got it.
We'll wrap, and don't go off area.
Awesome. Thank you again
Okay.
for having me.
Oh, thank you. All right.
you so
So
much.
sorry about
Keep up
that.
the good work. And tell-
no,
give
I
Lindsay help.
apologize. Okay. So again, Nicole is happily married, but there might be other single people here that maybe one could do a little
I don't know
matchmaking.
about that. I'm one for one, and that's it. I
Okay,
retired.
there you go.
I'm no longer Cupid. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So thank you again for joining us. There's a lot of great food here. There's a lot of great atmosphere here. And again, if you're in a hurry, takeout is the way to go. Buffalo Wild Wings still open for business. I got stuff in my teeth. Juan, you live right down the street, so you obviously frequent the place. So come on in, see a lot of great people, a lot of fun atmosphere, and thanks again for joining us here on the JV Sports Show with guest host Juan Roque, Vince DeLisio here. On behalf of Nicole and the rest of the team, GL Jones, Kat Jones, our production team, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.